Welcome to Subramani. Uh, Taking personal responsibility for one's investing, or let me go a step behind and say one person whom you should really hate for your mutual funds or for your portfolio not doing well is you yourself, right? Protecting yourself or protecting your portfolio from the worst enemy is a very important job to do, and I am not calling you your worst enemy or the worst enemy of your portfolio, but this has been called by Graham: man is perhaps the greatest enemy of his portfolio. This is so true, and you hear it quite often, right? You hear some people saying who is the worst enemies, and don't not accepting responsibility. So when you talk to anybody, when I talk to people at maybe 55 and 60, and I ask them what happened to your portfolio, and then they will blame their relationship manager, their banker, their advisor, their broker, the economist, the central bank policies, their parents for not leaving them enough money, their spouse for spending too much, their spouse for not understanding what is happening, right? Their employer for paying them less, some neighbor who gave them some wrong advice, right? They will blame everybody except the man whose face they see while shaving. You know, there is a beautiful English saying, you cannot tell a lie to the man whose face you see while shaving. This is absolutely true. And some of us, not all of us, some of us seem to have bypassed the stage when we have to take responsibility for our action. You could be 21 when you do it, you could be 18 when you do it, you could be 72 when you do it. At some stage you have to grow up and say, I did this and this went wrong. We don't accept that responsibility, right? We say in Hindi, kaanta lag gaya. And the English equivalent is I ran the thorn, right? It's very important that the thorn was just lying there, you went there and put your foot there, right? So unfortunately, we are psychologically not geared to accepting mistakes. So when your child runs and hits a stool or a sofa, we go and hit the sofa saying, oh, sofa's mistake, not your mistake. If we taught the child, the sofa was there, you ran wrong, so please accept responsibility, maybe we will become better parents. Coming to think of it, if you bypass that stage, that means you are not matured as an individual, because as an individual you are growing up. And growing up means accepting responsibility for your action. Don't blame your 28-year-old or a 25-year-old bank relationship manager or an advisor. If you are older, then you have to understand what that person is saying, whether it is applicable to you. That is your job of knowing whether that product. When I say it's your job, I mean it's yours and mine, right? It is our job to know that the product that we are buying is good for us. If you don't agree with what I'm saying, just look around ourselves and see how many of us are obese, overweight, because we have been spoon-fed, force-fed, whatever, of buying amazingly bad products, bad for our health, bad for our lives, dangerous for the people around us. They have excess sugar, excess salt. It has never bothered us. We have never bothered to ask our doctors whether this is good food. It is not. In fact, my test is look at that food and see whether your grandmother thought of it as food. If she did not, then it's not food, right? It's not. The same junk, it's much better off. You're much better off making pav bhaji or even potato chips. You're much better off making it at home, because you will not put that much of salt. The salt that the machine adds to this stuff is just amazing, and it is addicting, right? So we fall for such stuff and we assume that we understand finances. We don't understand food, we don't understand. So we neglect our health and wealth simply because of our inability to learn, or to learn it wrong, or to be completely overconfident about a problem. Look at my own case. I was recording with a wire and a phone or a camera, and there was some disturbance. I always thought the disturbance is because of the mic rubbing against the clothes, right? So against the cloth which I'm wearing, and it turned out to be there was still a lot of disturbance in spite of the fact that my mic was pretty steady. It turned out that the wire which was connecting the mic to the camera was old, and old wires are not very great in carrying sound quality, and so there was disturbance. And this I found out later when I was speaking to Manish Chauhan of Jago Investor, and he suggested a change of mic, and I changed my mic, and lo and behold, for 1,000 or 2,000 rupees I am able to give you better videos, right? So completely my fault, and it is not as though nobody told me. Every reader, every viewer told me that there is a lot of disturbance, but I, in my arrogance perhaps, I thought that I knew the solution. The solution was there was some, so I tried a mic stand, I did all those things, but it turned out to be just a bad wire, and it was a very simple solution, right? So that is arrogance, that is mistake, and when you do all this to your portfolio, you really, sorry for using the word, but you screw your portfolio. So what can we do about it? So first is to understand that we are damaging our own portfolios. We have to first of all start by understanding that there is nothing called an immoral business, right? If anything can be exploited, that will be exploited. So your weakness for liquor, your weakness for playing a card game, your weakness for wanting to buy adult entertainment, everything will be exploited. Maybe 50 years ago it was not so bad, right? Even in the US it was not perhaps so bad, but today adult entertainment is big industry, gaming is big industry, gambling is big industry. You want to call it sin, that is a different thing, but I don't want to get into value judgment, but you need to understand that immoral businesses make a lot of money, and so porn sells, and there is financial porn which sells, so the chances are you will fall for financial porn rather than for financial literature, right? So how many of us want to read the books by Graham and Buffett and good classics? We are rather happy reading small 300 word articles, 400 word articles, which may be very, very relevant for today, but you may forget it tomorrow, right? Not all of us want to read only Morgan Housel or Jason Zweig, right? We don't want to read only that kind of stuff. We want to read the porn stuff, which keeps telling you, oh, today you can come and trade and you can make so much money. Or you have a film actress, believe me, a film actress who comes and tells you that you should be buying cryptocurrency, or a film star coming and telling you that you should be playing